whenever you invest in a company, we believe everything belongs to God. So you're using God's money to be a good steward and hopefully grow the money. And the stewardship responsibility that corporate America has is to run a good company, to operate in excellence, and return value to shareholders. Now, instead of returning value to shareholders, some corporations are getting engaged in the culture war, and they're using our dollars to support things that don't line up with Christian values. So in a nutshell, that is what biblically responsible investing is to screen out those companies, to refuse to invest in those companies that would use God's money that we are in charge of to promote an ungodly agenda. So when I first heard of this, I started to look at all of the places that I shopped, and I became very frustrated, and almost to the point where I gave up, because I thought, well, you know what? I've got to use a computer every day. My only choices are Apple or Microsoft, right? So neither one are biblically responsible. What do I do? Does that mean I can't use computers anymore? In the age of technology, we don't have home phones anymore. We have cell phones. So I start looking at the providers. There weren't really any providers there, makers of cell phones. You start looking at all of these things. You may be in a small town and you may have, only a Walmart that you can do grocery shopping at. Walmart's not a biblically responsible company. So you start looking around and you think, wow, that's a really tough thing. We just can't do it. Might as well give up. Might as well throw biblically responsible investing out. So I started to pray about that. And what the Lord showed me was that there's a difference between patronage, which is buying goods and services from a company, and investing, and where that responsibility ends. So we can't be responsible for everything in the world. We have to be responsible for ourselves and the things that we can control. So when we exchange in patronage, now this is when you buy and sell things, when you exchange your money or the money that God gave you for a good or service, that money doesn't belong to you anymore. So the good or the service that you have acquired is now under your stewardship control, and the money is under the stewardship control of the company that you gave it to. They are the ones that will answer for that. They are the ones that will bear the responsibility for what happens with it. Now, what's different with investing is that when you invest money in a company, that money is still your money to steward. It's still God's money, but it's your money to steward. But you're just allowing the day-to-day decisions about how that money is used to the corporation that you have invested in. So we still have stewardship responsibility when we invest, and that's why we avoid companies that are not biblically responsible. I'm all for making good purchasing decisions when possible. It's really hard to make an impact when you don't have choices, so that is really the difference between patronage and investing.